Welcome, Andre. Welcome to Know My Business. It's great to have you here with us today. So I understand you are one of the leaders in intellectual property law. What is intellectual property law, and how did you become recognised as one of the leaders in that field?
In short, intellectual property law is that slice of the law that protects the intellectual property of inventors or people that come up with new concepts or trademarks. So a typical example of intellectual property would be a patent, which would protect, for example, the concept, the invention of how something works. And a trademark or a brand, something like Coca-Cola, that one associates a specific name with a product. So that's what the intellectual property in a nutshell entails. So my background is in mechanical engineering. Started off by studying engineering at the Rand Afrikaans University, these days known as the University of Johannesburg. Thereafter did a law degree while serving articles at a IP firm in South Africa. Completed the legal qualification and then studied further to become qualified as a patent attorney. So that took a good 10 years or so to complete.
Yeah.
And in between that, one gets exposed to a whole raft of types of inventions and various fields of various fields of technical expertise. So that was quite interesting. So I think one spends a lot of time in industry because as a patent attorney you see inventions. On one side you may be working with a new mining device, and thereafter a person may come to you with a new item of clothing. So it's spending time and getting the experience from a wide range of different technology fields, but whilst at the same time continuing to develop one's skills as a patent attorney. So that would include doing further studies, writing articles, reading extensively on various developments in intellectual property, not just in Australia but also abroad. So it's one of those things that you learn something new every day. So it is by spending time in industry that one gets to a level where one is quite confident.
So from what you've told me, it's not only that you've applied, I guess, the theory side of law, you've also been on the floor and you've really understood the technical and mechanical aspects of what it means for a business owner to create something and to turn and to, I guess, protect what they own.
A good professional in any field is you need to love what you do. And what I really enjoy about my business, when inventors come to me, they come to me with stars in their eyes. So yes, often it's a case that I refer to my area of law as soft core law, because we don't see at the stage when people come to me, it's generally that there's not an issue. There's excitement because they've developed a new invention, something that's on the cusp of technology. So I think that's the interesting thing. One moment you may be working on something like a matter that I've just drafted a patent specification on is a new type of bee smoker. So that's a bee smoker. Then the next moment you may be working on a new type of pillow. Next moment a new engine assembly. And these are all examples of intellectual property rights that I've been working on in the last few weeks. So you get to know and you learn a lot every day. You don't know what the inventor is going to rip out of the bag. So that's the exciting thing. So I think that one of the key aspects to success, you need to enjoy what you are doing. If it's a chore to come to work, then I don't think you're going to excel at that. But the joy of seeing the excitement in other people's faces as they tell you about the invention and how they are going to take over the world.
So tell me, I have to ask, have you ever seen an invention and you have thought, oh my God, this is just ludicrous?
Yes, I have. I think most patent attorneys will have a story like that, and often you have at least one crazy inventor once a year, but
Is that all?
part
Once
of
a year? Okay.
I suppose you would probably get some more at times, but no, you do get. You also, what is quite interesting about patents is that often you see an invention as a patent attorney where you think that this is a brilliant idea, this must have a huge market. But often it happens that the person with the best idea is not necessarily one that's going to hit it big time.
Yeah.
Often it's the person who may not have such a good idea, but really have the contacts and the marketing news that makes success of invention. So that's the sad thing, I think, in one part, is that often you really see good inventions, and then for whatever reason people struggle to make a commercial success out of those inventions.
So speaking of commercial, you're based in South Africa, where your career really took off, and then you decided to bring your family out to Australia, where you're now living out here in the hills. Tell me a little bit how difficult that was for you to come out here and, I guess, embark on a new business venture, servicing the small to medium business. And I believe the reason why you did that is that you wanted to provide that top tier level of service to small business that's not afforded to them at a reasonable price that, I guess, compared to the big firms in town.
I think the first thing that comes up to me when I think about those initial stages when we set up the firm was, where will the clients come from? That daunting thing, having been in a big corporate firm where clients abound and you never had to struggle for your next client just because of the reputation of the firm.
Correct.
I think the main thing that, and I often see this with inventors as well, is that sort of that step of faith. This is going to work. You feel this is the right thing to do, and then you close your eyes and you take that step.
That leap of faith.
Leap of faith, and then you work hard. Long days, not a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
But the fun of building a business, that is what keeps you going. When you start getting inquiries and you start doing work for people, your own clients that you won, and then you start getting referrals from them. That is quite a nice feeling. But I think the thing that is quite challenging is that as starting off as a sole practitioner, you are not only the person that actually does the work, you also have to think strategically. Now, the nice thing of having worked at a big corporate firm is that one would tend to become a technical specialist. You know your area quite well. Yeah. But thinking as an employee and then changing hats to think as an entrepreneur and business owner, it's a completely different skill set. And I found that's been quite a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
Good fun though.
Yes.
Things like networking. I spend a lot of time networking, and having been in the big corporate firm, if you told me I would be spending so many evenings at networking, I would say, no ways, that is not for me. But then you start doing it, and the fun of getting to know people from all different walks of life, building their trust, and in time winning business, that is quite rewarding. Yeah. So when I looked at the lay of the land as far as intellectual property is concerned, it struck me that often people may feel daunted by going to a big firm. They feel perhaps it at times impersonal, perhaps that partners are too busy to look after their matters because they've got bigger clients, that and this is maybe a perception that rightly or wrongly small inventors held. And I thought, well, I really enjoy working with small to medium business owners, particularly with first-time inventors, because often it's all new. They don't know what is involved. They need somebody to hold their hand.
So it's an educational lesson for them too.
And you have to budget for that. It's going to take quite a lot of time. And often at big firms, there simply isn't the time available for every young or new inventor to grant them that opportunity to hold their hand through the whole process. And I find that there has been quite a demand from small to medium businesses, for somebody that will bring the experience of big firms, but with the time and the willingness to journey with them as they learn the ropes about the IP process, and to take them from filing the application to having granted rights.
Yeah.
And it seems that in fact that view that I have of the lay of the land was correct, because it's evidenced by the growth that I've experienced over the last 18 months.
Yeah, no, that's really important. I see a lot of people in different industries who are escaping the corporate world and doing what you've done. So hats off to you, congratulations, you're killing it out there. So fantastic. So you mentioned networking.
Yes.
I mean, I guess that's either, you either love it or you hate it. And if you've gone out into business, the one thing you do have to do is put yourself out there,
Yes.
get yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Because as you said, you're not just the technical specialist, you're everything. You're the marketer, you're the accountant, you're everything in your business. So how do you find that? Is that challenging, I guess, trying to balance family life as well? Because a lot of these events are at night, and you're very busy during the day.
Yes.
So how do you incorporate the family life into your business, your business world as well? I know there's no such thing as a balance anymore. It's all about integration. Integration, that's right. So was that a challenge? Do you see that as being a challenge, or is that something that, has just fallen in your lap quite easily?
Look, I must admit, I find that a constant challenge. My family, and funny enough, I went on my own because I wanted to be able to structure my own day so that I can spend more time with the family. So it's no issue for me if the kids will have an event at school that I can attend that. Yeah. But it is structuring one's day to have that family time. So I tend to work quite late hours, but I find that once the kids have gone to bed, then you have uninterrupted time in which one can do quite a lot of work. Yeah. So I think for most entrepreneurs and startups, managing time is a major concern. I'm still learning every day, and my wife is constantly keeping me on my toes that I need to spend quality time with our kids. So it's particularly when one's kids are young and you want to have that impression of dad really being there for them. Yeah. And that running my own business, that has given me that opportunity, but also it has been a constant challenge to manage one's time. Now, as far as the networking is concerned, yes, I do a fair amount of that. Some of the events are at night, some of them during the morning. And yes, that was quite a challenge for me initially. My thought of networking used to be, you have to almost work the room, try to get as many cards out to people, and then think that somebody's just there going to send you business. No. It doesn't work that way. It's a mind shift. And once I made that mind shift, I now really enjoy networking, because it's now going to events and meeting new people, learning about what they do, how one can help them, and really the hope of getting immediate business, that's non-existent. There's no pressure of that, because
there's no expectation there. You go there without an expectation.
Exactly. You go there and you meet people with who you have rapport, and then over time you build a relationship, and in the goodness of time, if people feel they like and trust you, they'll send you some business. Now, there has been some big ones by just networking. I remember my biggest case came from just a fortuitous meeting I had with a person over coffee at a networking event, and said he's got somebody that needs some IP assistance, and he referred a client to me who then had something like 6 or 7 foreign patent applications they had to file, and that was just having a cup of coffee. Now that's not the norm. It doesn't happen frequently, but it does happen.
But when it does, it's nice.
That's exactly it. But the thing is, there's no more that dauntingness of going to a networking event. I don't have that, because there's no expectation. You go to meet new people, learn something about an industry perhaps that you have no knowledge of, and that is just good fun.
That's great advice for any business who's starting out as well. Tell me, is there a particular person or an event that has contributed to your successful journey along the way?
I think that saying about behind every successful man there's a woman.
Oh, you just got brownie points.
It has to be my wife. She's the one who believes in me, but she's also the one, if I go on a tangent, who is realistic about what is achievable. She's the one that will bring me back into line with the business plan that we have.
Okay.
So I think it has to be the one.
And it does help that she's an accountant too, doesn't it?
It does. So she will tell me quite things. I'm in the fortunate position that at the end of each month, I will have a board pack with analyses that she will say we have to work on this and that.
Yeah. She's a good lady.
Yeah, I'm quite blessed. It has to be her. She's the inspiration, but she's the one that keeps you grounded if your head swells too quickly of dreaming too big.
Yeah.
What is realistic at this stage? So in short, it has to be my wife.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so you can be a bit like your clients too that come to you if they're, eyes in the sky, bright-eyed stars who come to you with an idea. So I guess you go to her and you say, well, I want to buy this now. So she kind of, says, let's think about it. Let's do the numbers.
She will do that and say, sorry, there's no budget.
Yeah.
Or if it is, good idea, let's go for it.
And I think that does really, whether it's your wife or it's a professional that you have, that you're working with, I think it's really important for every business to have that sounding board where they're not just going out there and doing things, on impulse, because we're all passionate, and that's why we're all in business, because we're passionate and we've got the hunger, but sometimes we just don't look at things in a long-term range. So
quite right. No, it's key to have a sounding board person who shares your dream, but also is realistic and practical about how to implement.
So would you say that it's really important for a lot of businesses out there who are going out on their own to have that special someone?
For sure. I think somebody that you trust as far as not just necessarily business acumen, but also knows you as a person, who can say, well, you're getting ahead of yourself, or don't sell yourself short, try this. So key to have a trusted advisor.
Okay.
Now, in my case, unfortunately, it's my wife.
Yeah, wonderful. So what's next for Andre Meyers? What's next for you guys?
I think it's consolidating on the growth that we have had, and to plan how to grow the business and get some further professionals in. I think that's the dream. My background is mechanical engineering, so there are fields of technology which I can't deal and don't advise clients on. For example, electronic or software implemented inventions or chemistry. It would be nice to build skill sets within the firm also to service clients in those fields of technology. So it would be embarking on looking at bringing some further professionals on board. Okay, wow. So we should be seeing Meyer West IP up in lights one day. Fingers crossed.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much for your time today. It's been a real treat and honour to interview you and get to know a little bit more about you and your business. So thank you so much for coming along, and we wish you all the best with the growth of your business.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.